in the morning. I can't sleep. My jaw's busted. They wired it up a couple hours ago and it hurts every time I move my mouth. I lost tonight. I gave everything and I still lost. Feels like I let everyone down. I'm not unbreakable.
But it causes repeated trauma to the brain. And over years and years of this happening, people can get what's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE syndrome. And it's almost like a disease because with repeated trauma to the brain, and that can lead to memory problems, mood swings, even trouble with movements, and eventually people can develop dementia, like Alzheimer's disease. And Jake Paul got knocked out by Anthony Joshua this past Friday night. And so I want to break this down from a medical perspective. I'm a neurosurgeon with over 25 years of experience. And so, you know, what happens is when you get hit in the head with that kind of force, like in boxing, our brain actually moves inside our skull and it can bump into the skull, which is a firm structure, and cause bruising of the brain.
Jake
Paul gets his jaw broken. Not only that, but he gets his lower jaw broken from the right and the left side. So both sides. And not only this, following that, he went through an emergency surgery procedure to get that sorted out, and titanium plates were inserted to help stabilize the case. This will take long to fully heal.
Drinking every night and doing all this and beat you.
Yeah, it was bad.
If you look at the fight, he was much slower. He only threw a hook. Like.
So here's how Jake Paul's boxing dream just turned into his worst nightmare. His jaw got completely destroyed, teeth scattered across the canvas, and Gervonta Davis couldn't stop grinning about it. But the real bombshell isn't that Anthony Joshua put him to sleep. It's how fast everything crumbled and what this could mean for Jake's entire future in boxing. What we witnessed wasn't your typical knockout. This was a complete breakdown in front of millions. Jake went down 4 separate times and couldn't get back up on the last one. The fight was over, but the real damage was just getting started. Stick around because I'm about to reveal the injuries nobody caught during the broadcast and why this defeat cuts way deeper than anyone realizes.
He was going like tie him down and catch him with a good shot and shit like that.
So wait, do you think, curious, because it's a business aspect, but again, I'm still a nigga, and
Here's where things get absolutely wild. Jake drops those x-ray images just hours after leaving the hospital. His jaw split clean down the middle in 2 spots. Metal plates getting installed. Multiple teeth just gone. But then he does something completely insane. He's calling out Canelo from his hospital bed. Keep watching because the internet's reaction to that move sent shockwaves through combat sports.
A couple of times, pushed down on the back of his neck, pushed down on the back of his head, got him to the ground. There was a few times where Jake looked like he was going for a takedown. Again, that was Jake trying to engage in the clinch, and AJ smartly moved back. In one instance, I think it was the 5th round, Jake engaged for a clinch, AJ moved back and started punching down.
That hospital bed call-out backfired spectacularly. Everyone started roasting him. Professional fighters just shook their heads in disbelief. People behind the scenes finally said what they'd been thinking all along. Anthony Joshua hits like a freight train, and Jake just walked face first into elite-level punishment. Coming up, I'll break down why medical experts say these injuries change everything going forward.
To Anthony Joshua sleeping Jake and breaking his jaw in 2 different places, along with breaking his teeth. Gervonta joined the fun with the rest of the boxing community by throwing a meme on Jake Paul. That was his reaction, as you guys see above.
What happened after the camera stopped rolling was way worse than social media showed. Surgeons worked on him all night long. They were dealing with fractures that look more like car accident victims than boxing injuries. Trust me when I say the medical breakdown gets pretty disturbing.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here, it's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line, they were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process Jake would be
They kept him under for 4 straight hours, had to drill titanium hardware directly into his face. The surgeons admitted privately that Joshua's final right hand cracked both sides of Jake's jaw simultaneously. That's the kind of power that makes all those pre-fight warnings look prophetic. Now here's where this story gets really twisted.
Down on Jake's back. So all of those things kind of deteriorated or emptied Jake's gas tank a lot earlier than I think he expected it to. But overall, I thought he deployed his game plan well for the first 5 rounds and actually had some success. He even moved AJ back a few times. 1, by just jabbing in the air, and 2, when he caught him, he moved AJ.
While some people felt bad for Jake, Gervonta Davis was absolutely loving every second of it. His reaction has the entire boxing community picking sides and the controversy is getting nasty. Stay right here because Tank's response is about to blow your mind.
Yeah, he just represents everything that's wrong with boxing, unprofessionalism, and you know he's getting what you know, he's reaping what he sows. But I hate working with people like that. He stands everyone up, film crews, everything, doesn't do any promotion.
People close to Davis say those hospital photos didn't make him feel sorry, they made him smile. He kept rewatching the knockout footage over and over, saying Jake never belonged with real fighters anyway. Before you decide how you feel about that reaction, let me explain the history that led to this moment.
Jake Paul was knocked out in round 6 and suffered 2 fractures to his left jaw. Here's the moment that did it.
Chin served on a platter for that right hand right there. And look at Jake Paul's face.
There's no way I can share the actual injury here, it's a bit too gruesome as the camera was put inside Jake's mouth and his teeth were actually not in a straight line, they were separated from the others as the jaw deviated. The question is though, what kind of recovery process?
This whole mess didn't actually start with the Joshua fight. It goes back months when Jake went after Tank publicly, questioned everything about him, and was supposed to fight him in Miami. Don't go anywhere, because understanding why that fight fell apart explains exactly why we're here right now.
AJ came right back in and swung, but he did move him back.
When this fight was first announced, you said to several media members that like initially you weren't down for this fight. You thought it was just a little bit too much too soon, to paraphrase. Did he do better? Did Jake do better than you thought? Result aside, obviously you wanted him to win. You thought, I think by the end, that he was going to win, but did he actually do better than you thought initially?
When Tank's legal problems killed their bout, Jake didn't just move on quietly. He absolutely destroyed Tank on every platform he could find, called him trash, unprofessional, and way worse than that. That's when Tank decided he owed Jake some payback, and he's been waiting ever since.
And doesn't do any posts, but it is what it is. I'm actually glad this all happened this way so that he doesn't get, you know, the biggest paycheck of his life and just continues to be a piece of shit.
The Ring 4, November 22nd. Watch only on DAZN.
So when Joshua delivered exactly what everyone predicted would happen, Tank didn't see something sad. He saw proof he was right all along. The memes started flying everywhere. Private conversations got leaked, and boxing Twitter went completely crazy arguing about whether this was justified or just cruel. That argument is still going strong, and here's why. Half the fans think Tank went too far laughing at someone with a broken face and missing teeth. The other half say Jake spent years being disrespectful and finally got what was coming to him. Don't think that debate is ending anytime soon because the recovery timeline makes everything more complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up. Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jada Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He know.
Medical professionals are saying jaw breaks like this take forever to heal properly. He's looking at 6 to 8 months minimum before any contact sports, maybe a full year away from fighting, plus massive dental work, implants, bone reconstruction, and a brutal path back to normal life. This puts Jake's entire career at a crossroads. Something shifted in Jake's mindset for the first time ever. He started talking about fighting smaller guys, admitted heavyweight was too much, admitted he needs to step back. Those words might hurt worse than the punches because they show something broke mentally too.
Right, listen, respect to Jake. You know, he was a tough guy in there. Obviously, he moved a lot and made it difficult for AJ. And AJ's been out of the ring for a while. He's a bit rusty. It took him time to just get hold of him, but I was impressed with Jake. And listen, as I said to Nikisa, at the end of the day, he took shots that a lot of people would have got knocked out clean out, but especially at the end, you know. So yeah.
Was it frustrating for you to watch?
No, I mean maybe like obviously when someone's moving like that.
Anthony Joshua actually gave Jake props afterward, saying he was tougher than expected and 8 shots that would drop real heavyweights cold. Somehow that respect made the whole thing sting even more, because courage doesn't change what happened.
Respect to Jake Paul that we took a few rounds to get going because Jake was moving a lot and holding a lot, and you know it was difficult to nail him clean, I think. But eventually AJ took his time, cut him off, and smashed him about. And listen, respect to Jake Paul, because that last shot, I know he broke his chat and his jaw, but it would have knocked most heavyweights out. So I've got to give him credit.
The boxing world is stuck on one massive question right now. Does this end Jake's run at elite level boxing forever, or does it set up some crazy comeback story once he heals up? Don't click away, because the answer might already be taking shape.
We'll argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him, is 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet, my brother.
And when they're rugby tackling you, but he had to do what he had to do to survive. And he did that. So, you know, it's very difficult to go in like, you know, out the ring for 14 months and just be razor sharp with a guy running. And so, yeah, probably 2 or 3 rounds more than expected. But fair play to Jake Paul. He was a lot tougher than I thought, and he took a lot more shots than I thought he could.
What did AJ tell you inside the ring about the fighter?
Wicked fight. Respect to Jake Paul for taking the fight. Took a heavy shot. But you know what? What a fantastic fight he put on. But big well done to AJ. We knew from day one AJ was going to do it, but the better fighter was going to win.
People said that Jake Paul was running. Do you feel like he ran, or do you like...
I mean, against someone like AJ, AJ's a big guy, strong guy, and he can hurt you. So yeah, 100%, like, he's going to want to avoid his power, but you know what? He got caught in the corner and bang you out.
Gervonta Davis is still champion, still trending, still connected to Jake's downfall, and that canceled fight feels more important than ever, because when Jake returns, that unfinished business will be waiting.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that...
We'll argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him, is 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet.
Right now, the memes won't stop. The arguments keep going, and nobody can forget that image of Jake smiling before the fight and lying destroyed afterward. 2 pictures that tell you everything you need to know.
Have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And
This goes way beyond losing a fight. It's a reality check for every influencer who thinks attitude can replace actual skill, and while Jake heals in private and Tank celebrates in public, boxing just did what it always does. It reminded everyone that consequences eventually catch up.